Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
Great to be with you. Just so everybody knows, they're still trying to finalize. I mean, not everything's in place for James Franklin at Virginia Tech, but they're still finalizing it. As of right now, still a few things to work through. But should things fall into place there for Virginia Tech, that's a great hire.
Oh, no doubt.
And we'll leave it at that because I think he will do a fabulous job there. And it'll be, and to be honest with you, I think they can get to the top of the ACC quickly there with him as the head coach. With him as the head coach, they automatically become a contender in the ACC.
Very familiar with the region, recruiting-wise.
He knows the region, the recruiting-wise.
Yeah,
but
great hire.
His drive, his passion, everything.
Certainly.
It's everything that the kind of established coach that Virginia Tech has needed since Frank Beamer left.
I agree.
Okay, and he will work day and night there to get it done. And he's in a conference where you can rise to the top quickly.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Right. Which means by winning the conference, you can get to the college football playoff.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Excuse me. The Penn State now gets ready for Nebraska, and that will be Saturday at 7. By the way, the Rutgers game will be 3:30 on BTN, just so you know. So that's how the last two regular season games play out for Penn State. Emmett Johnson has had a great season for Nebraska at running back, 1,100 yards. Had a 100-yard game at UCLA, and then came right back, and on top of that, also had 103 yards receiving. I think that, the way he's utilized, important. They've had 2 weeks to prepare, so Latif has had time to settle in a little bit. That helps. Penn State, I talked about a couple of the underrated things in the game on Saturday, and one of the underrated things was a play where you have to have people ready to step in and play when you need it. And Dominic Rulli, who, as the week went, I'm not sure that they knew they were going to have him for the game. By the end of the week, got himself out there and into the lineup. And when Nick Dawkins got dinged up on a play, it was Rulli that came in the game, and he's the one that made the direct snap to Katron Allen on the touchdown run. And that's why I passed him on the plane, and I said, you snapped it on the Allen play. He goes, yeah. He says, Jack and I had you in the game. He goes, really? He says, that's cool. No, because we saw him come in. I was like, okay. All right. And to make that kind of snap at that moment.
Absolutely.
Right,
goal line, big spot.
Right,
sure.
Big spot, right on the money. And then, of course, Rappelier made a block, and Katron and the offensive line did the rest. But look, Penn State in the last quarter and a half against Indiana started to own the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. The last quarter and a half against Michigan State, on both sides of the ball, Penn State owned the line of scrimmage. In fact, to be honest with you, except for the opening play for Michigan State offensively, the Penn State defensive line owned the line of scrimmage the rest of the day. The Penn State offensive line took over. Jack and I both felt that Penn State could run for over 200 against this team. And it took a long time, but then once they got rolling with the running game, they ran for, 245. But we kept looking at each other like, I'm telling you, they can run on this team. Right? Well, finally, in the end, you could see that they did. and they ran for 245. That's going to be critical in a game like this on Saturday night at West Shore Home Field at Beaver Stadium. Special teams has been great for Penn State. You can't take it away from them on what they've done in special teams. Wosu's dependable on kickoffs. Wosu's dependable on punts. Barker's been dependable on placements. And their ability now to block kicks, they've blocked 4 punts, they've blocked a field goal, they have 2 touchdowns out of it. And, you know, even though they didn't get points out of it the other day, they blocked another punt. So, yeah, that is that's where they are right now. And the other key part is they were able to play with the lead. Once they got the 14-10 lead, they never relinquished it. And I talk about this all the time. It is so important in games. Now, something like the Texas A&M South Carolina game is exciting and dramatic. Down 30-3, 10 minutes to go in the game, they're up 31-30. That's exciting and dramatic. The reality is the vast majority of the time, the team that gets to the lead, and especially if they can get a 2-possession advantage, it makes all the difference in the world. Right? Your ability to get home. We talk about, in horse racing, the horse that comes from behind. Wow, incredible. Well, the bottom line is, like, the horse that comes from behind isn't as tired as the horse he passed. They're all tired, right? He's just not as tired as that horse, right? Well, the vast majority of the time in horse racing, you get to the lead, you're going to win. Okay? You are not the lead dog. The view does not change. Yeah. And that's, I think that was so important. So, yeah. Nebraska people want to talk to me at 3 o'clock on Thursday. They said, Jason Lord isn't going to be there, is he? All right. So, I think that so that'll be what they have coming up. Now, Oregon and USC. Right? You're not going to make that game big noon.
No.
You can't.
No,
so
you
that's
can't
why
with the
CBS
coast.
ended up with the game at 3:30. And probably because in this particular week they got to pick first, but you can't make that game big noon. You can't do a West Coast game that's big noon when they're the home team. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. You're not going to do that. Remember they did that at Arizona State? I can't remember. Arizona State played USC or UCLA? USC.
Yep.
9 o'clock in the morning. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that. That's when you know TV has too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? You're like, and you can't be so desperate to be on it, you say yes. But 3:30 is the right time for that. That'll be 12:30 out in Eugene. USC, to its credit, is playing really well. Lincoln Riley, Danton Lynn's done a great job with that defense. Lincoln Riley I felt like with Caleb Williams, and then it carried over to Miller Moss, and especially last year with Moss, they had a really good running back last year, Woody Marks.
Yep.
I liked him a lot. And you know what? They didn't use him over and over and over again. The rushing numbers for USC were way down last year compared to the overall numbers. He has really good teams at Oklahoma, and then in his quick early tenure with USC, their balance between rushing and passing yardage was pretty close till last year. Now this year, you notice what they're doing? They're running the ball. And Jordan Mailata is a good quarterback. I mean, he's a very good quarterback. And you see what Oregon's doing, running the ball. Now, Oregon's interesting in that I thought De'Aaron Hill would be used more as the season went. And instead, it's Jordan Davison they're using more, the big running back, as the season has gone, to go with Whittingham. I mean, Whittington's a really good player. Made that great run against Minnesota last Friday night. Really good player. But they have to have a second back. And I really thought that second back, because I think Lamar is hurt. Because Lamar is hurt, they've had Jaden Lamar.
I think so.
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Yeah, I think so.
But I thought Hill would get more of the, because, I mean, he sure has a burst to him. But Davison is a power guy. That's why he has these 11 touchdowns already this year. But they used him, like, in the open field area, watching the other night, and I thought, okay, well, that's interesting. That's interesting that they did that. But I think that's going to be a great game. Now, I'll probably be able to see, like, the first half, maybe.
See much of it.
Right.
Yeah, I'll see maybe the first quarter from Lucky.
Because we're on at 5:30.
Yeah.
We're on at 5:30. And, that's going to be that's going to be a game of great interest to me. Ohio State will play Rutgers at home. It's senior day for Ohio State. Rutgers has had 2 weeks to prepare for it. Geez, you want to talk about, like, I just got the weather forecast for tomorrow night. They're talking about snow. So they give you percentages. Little to no accumulation, 47%. Possibly 2 inches, 46%.
So little to no accumulation, or you get 2 inches.
I'll never forget. Way back when. So I'm going back into the 80s. On the cable system, there was cable channel 4 here. And we refer to it as the word channel.
Yep. That channel was there when I was in college still.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we always called it the word channel. And all it was the news of the day typed out for you, sports, weather, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And one day in the weather, this storm coming in. I'll never forget this. Accumulation's 2 to 12 inches. I was going, I'm thinking to myself, under the category of I can't go wrong, 2 to 12 inches. Okay.
Good Lord. That's a way to keep your job, that's for sure.
No doubt. You were in good shape.
Oh, man.
Like 2 to 12 inches. I mean,
might as well just say it's gonna snow.
I never forgot that. I looked at that. I even, to make sure I saw it right, I brought people in. I said, "Can you check this out to make sure I didn't take crazy pills here?" And they looked at it, and everybody just started laughing. They go, "You got to be kidding me!" I said, "No,
boy, 2 to 12 inches."
It's like
it's one thing if it's 2 to 4, 2 and 4. There's a difference,
wide range,
but
man.
2 inches and a foot. Oh, there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a state of emergency and getting to work.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh.
Jeez. Oh, man. I can't say I'm shocked, but good Lord.
Yeah. Cowboys won last night, 33-16.
Yeah, you knew it'd be emotional.
They won't score 10 points against Philadelphia.
I can't imagine either. This is your typical Cowboys. They'll score 44 one week. The next week they'll come out and they'll lay an egg. And I think that's if you're not emotionally up for next week, I don't know what game you're going to be. Yeah, you were inches away from beating this team in week 1. So, but
although Jalen Carter didn't play,
Jalen Carter didn't play. You're right. Big difference. Absolutely right. They were shut out. I don't want to say they might have been shut out in the second half too.
They were.
Yeah, so that was the other part of it. So, yeah, and that was without Carter. So, yeah, I don't.
Okay. So, again, the SEC plays its usual games. Texas A&M is facing Samford out of Alabama. That's where Bobby Bowden began his coaching career, by the way.
Yeah.
Samford this year, not exactly the flagship of the FCS fleet. 1-10 In FCS, they're 1-10. Okay. There you go. Georgia has Charlotte. Charlotte is FBS. But I would like to point out, come into the game with a record of 1-9.
1-9. Yeah, there you go.
But they are FBS.
Game day's not at this one?
No, they probably should be at Alabama.
I think so,
where
too.
Alabama is facing Eastern
Eastern
Illinois.
There you go.
Well, no, again,
Yeah,
this is where, and I said this last week, and
Georgia's got Charlotte at home.
Huh?
Georgia's got Charlotte at home.
Oh, yeah, I know. Right. Yeah, I said that. Right. This I said the last week. Okay. If you are going to be someone that prides yourself on being the conscious of college football,
Right.
right? I'm telling you right now, on that set, they're going to laugh these games off.
Sure.
Okay? They're going to laugh the games off.
Yeah. And I don't object to these games being week 1 or week 0, whatever
who
week
cares?
it is.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
right.
get the tune-ups in the beginning, absolutely.
Right
But yeah, now you're in the heart of the season.
Well, it's not just the heart of the
The college
season.
football
It's
playoff rankings.
College football
a lot of
playoff
other
committee
things.
is ranking you
Yeah.
right now. Right? And this is who you play. And to me, while the Big Ten is out there, I don't care if Ohio State's home with Rutgers. Oh, it's Rutgers. Well, Rutgers at least is a conference game, and guess what? Rutgers is a team that's what, 5-5 in the year. They have a really good quarterback in Ethan Kaliakmanis. Their running back Raymond had 240 yards against Maryland last week. All right, okay. You're playing Rutgers.
Yeah.
You're not playing Samford. You're not playing Eastern Illinois. And now, if they want to bring up that the SEC is going to 9 conference games, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But they have never called them out on this. And I think it's a disgrace to college football that they do it. I think it's a disgrace that you get to this time of the year where the College Football Playoff Committee is ranking you. I mean, I wouldn't say much about this if we're 20 years ago and we didn't have the College Football Playoff. I wouldn't really say much. It's like, okay, they're just playing them. But it's different now once you're being ranked and you're being evaluated against other people that are trying to get in there, and you pull this kind of scheduling stunt. You consciously scheduled Eastern Illinois. Okay? Now, Charlotte at least is FBS, but you consciously scheduled Stanford. Really? That was a conscious decision on your part to play them. And I just sit there and I look around and say, and they don't get called out on it.
No.
Why don't they get called out on it? That's what bothers me about it. They sit on
it's
there.
not often the SEC is criticized, period.
Right, whatever. They don't do this. They've got a contract with the SEC. Can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nobody's going to say a word. They may make a joke about it. But like everybody else is out there trying to play serious games, and you guys are playing games that should have been played in September. Come on. I don't mind them playing Samford in September. I don't mind them playing Eastern Illinois in September at all. Okay? But now the College Football Playoff Committee is ranking you. It is serious time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's serious time, and you're not taking it seriously. And you're getting away with it. And you're getting away with it. And I've talked about it many times, but that is, you get away with it. By the way, Justice Haynes is not going to play against Ohio State. It looks like he is out for the rest of the season for Michigan. So he's not going to play in that game. All right, so Friday was supposed to be the day where the Big Ten was going to vote on UC investments. And because of the opposition from Michigan and USC, they're going to pause the vote. Right? UC Investments announced yesterday they're going to wait for unity among conference schools before proceeding. Look, I'd have taken the money and put it in an escrow account. Like, you want to opt in, you can opt in. If you opt out, you're not getting the money. Right? And to me, the problem with this is as follows. Rutgers, Maryland, and UCLA desperately need the $100 million because they're all getting $100 million. I mean, maybe UCLA gets 110, but Rutgers and Maryland are getting 100, which is the bottom number. And now, do you think Maryland cares? Do you think Michigan cares about those teams? No.
Nope.
Do you think USC cares about them? No. UC Investments says they're going to wait for unity among conference schools. He said, we remain convinced that the unity of the 18 Big Ten university members is the key to the success of the deal because they want to put together Big Ten enterprises. So we also recognize that some member institutions need more time to assess the benefits of their participation. UC Investments likewise require some additional time to complete our diligence as recent developments unfold and we continue to engage with the conference. So the plan would put together something called Big Ten Enterprises, which would house all the league's media rights and the sponsorship deals. Okay. And they would get $2.4 billion. It says here $2.4 million. It's $2.4 billion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're not doing anything for $2.4 million.
They would get a 10% stake in Big Ten Enterprises, which means they would get a 10% stake of the sponsorships, and they would get a 10% stake of the media deal. Okay. The grant of rights would be expanded to 2046. Now, there's also the Michigan and USC people are skittish about the extension of the grant of rights. Over here in the back, exactly where are you going?
It's
okay. Number one, do you want to be an independent? No, it's not going to work for you. Okay, it is not going to work for you. Notre Dame is an independent. Okay, their TV deal with NBC is $50 million. You're USC. That's $32 million less than what you're getting now. You want to go independent? Really? Okay. By the way, the number gets bigger next year.
Yeah.
There's a 7-year, $7 billion media rights package that runs through 2030. As we all know, the CBS-NBC part of it runs out in 30, but Fox runs out in 2036. Okay? Numerous schools are in need of the money due to soaring operational costs, debt on stadium construction, and renovations and revenue sharing with athletes. All true. The Big Ten itself and as many as 16 schools supported the deal. Penn State being one of them.
Sure.
Tony Petitti personally lobbied schools to back the plan, and UC Investments praised the Big Ten's process as, quote, rigorous and highly professional. Words rarely used in this building.
That's right.
But just kidding. Okay. Michigan and USC have not wavered on this. I would like to point out that those two schools have something in common. They both have interim presidents, which means the power rests with their Board of Regents, Board of Trustees, whatever they want to be called, okay? They say the plan was fiscally unsound, and the concept of selling a league asset at odds with their fiduciary responsibilities. In other words, look, they don't like the fact, so you're going to take $82 million per school. Well, UC Investments would get whatever number is minus 10%. So I have to have a calculator here. Let me see. Let's just take this particular year. Let's see. I know you're trying to do it in your head right now, but after you struggle with 4 plus 4 last week, I thought I'd use a calculator. It's just... Naturally, of course, now's the time I can't find it. Here, utilities, I got it. So you got 82 times 18. Well, no. It's not right. It's not right. It's 82, okay, times 16, right? Because
they're making
Oregon and Washington. Okay. So now divide by 17. Okay. And instead of 82 million, you get 77.
77-ish. Yep.
Okay. So you lose $5 million. Okay. Now, do you lose $5 million?
No.
Okay. No. Okay. Because you're getting the bottom line is these schools are getting 100.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I lost $5 million. I'm still $95 million ahead. It's okay. Then I'll lose maybe $7 million the next year. I'm still. I keep going here. And in Big Ten investments, if Big Ten Enterprises goes the way they hope it goes, then everybody ends up with more money anyway. That's what they're talking about. So the schools have stated it would be a Band-Aid on larger issues such as runaway expenses. Right? Michigan Regent Mark Bernstein dubbed it a payday loan. Now, Jordan Acker, who is an extremely outspoken member of the Michigan Regents, very outspoken, and has been outspoken on many subjects over the years, okay, was on Sirius XM. He said that the school remained opposed and found it nearly impossible to gain a grant of rights extension for 21 years. Because 21 would be the 46.
46, yep.
He said, this is a pretty big thing when you don't know what college football is going to look like 4 or 5 years from now. Oh, please.
He's not wrong, but it's still, yeah.
This isn't Conference USA.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on.
If anything, it's going to be bigger.
Okay?
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look.
Yeah.
When you have the SEC, who's left the SEC? Who has left the Big Ten?
Yeah. It's not happening.
Right? You have to have some common sense here.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Why don't you just come out and say it? Because Tony Petitti suspended Jim Harbaugh, you don't want to give him a win. Just say it. Just say it. Don't play verbal games. Just tell the truth. We don't know what's going to look like in 5 years. Well, guess what? In 5 years, the Big Ten's still going to be there.
And it's going to be much bigger.
And intact.
Yeah, and much bigger.
Yeah. And all the schools in the Big Ten right now will be there in 5 years. All the schools currently in the Big Ten will be there in 10 years.
Certainly.
Now, the question is, will there be add-ons? Right? But there's nobody leaving.
No, that statement is exactly what you get in a statement with a legal issue. You have lawyer verbatim. That's exactly where you're going to make a statement where you are covering yourself in the sense that it's not a wrong statement. He's not wrong about that. There's no question. But it's still going to be different
for the Sun Belt Conference USA,
absolutely.
the American, the Big 12, the ACC, but not the SEC or the Big Ten. The existing schools, the 34 schools in those two conferences will still be in their conferences.
I would think so.
10 and 20 years from now.
Yep.
All right, the other conferences, if this is the Big 12, the ACC, this becomes an argument. Okay?
Yeah, no, right? both
Acker
Big Ten
said
and SEC will still be here and much stronger.
Okay, they say they were going to proceed last week. When they did that, Acker said the Wolverines would explore all options for the future, including leaving the league. Good. See ya. Bye.
Yeah.
I don't care where you go.
That's not happening. Where are they going?
He said they could go
not
independent.
happening.
Really?
No, they can't.
Right? If Notre Dame is getting $50 million a year now,
yeah,
what are you getting?
yeah, not getting $50 million. Nobody is bigger than Notre Dame. Period.
Right. I mean, it doesn't mean,
and that's the reality of it all.
You couldn't get 75, but you're not going to get as much as you stay in.
No, absolutely.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, no, college football.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
Yeah, you're looking at one of the top. Yeah, Michigan's one of the top 5 to 10 brands easily. But there's no question.
Acker said Michigan has a lot of options. The possibility of independence for football is certainly something that has to be considered. Not today, but at the end of the grant of rights in 2036.
No, I wouldn't agree with it.
It's something you have to think about, he said, not because we want to leave the Big Ten Conference, but because the commissioner's office has made it enormously clear that they're going to proceed without us. That would be the end of Michigan as far as I can see. Here's one for you. Take the money. I mean, you have that. You do have that option because guess what? They would get $190 million, not the 100.
Yeah. And the other part of being independent, there's a reason Notre Dame's name, and not that they're going to, they're not going to a conference. They're not sharing their pie. But there's a reason why their name is tied to a conference because independent's not an easy thing to be. It really isn't. When you look at what Notre Dame has to do to make the college football playoff, their path is tougher. They don't have a conference championship game. Yes, they have that as an advantage. But aside from that, that means you don't play that week when other teams do. And that also means you have very little margin for error as an independent. The Big Ten, you got a bigger margin for error. There's no question about that. That's the other part of this. Or Big Ten or SEC or any conference for that matter, especially those two.
Okay. Acker noted the league has repeatedly expanded its ranks, right? Stretching from Southern California to New Jersey. In search, he's correct here. He is correct. In search of additional revenue, only to continue to need more and more money. Well, one of the reasons you need more and more money, okay, is look, 5 years ago, you didn't think you were going to have to take $20.5 million and pay your athletes.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay? As correct and as fair as that is, 5 years ago, you weren't counting on that.
Correct.
Right? Now everybody, that's one of the reasons your expenses have gone up. Now, Penn State, we know, is what they're doing to West Shore Home Field at Beaver Stadium.
Your revenue is gone.
We know what Northwestern's doing with Ryan Field.
Mm-hmm.
I've been other places where, I'm seeing construction on a lot of college campuses when I go there that are athletic related. The money infusion was believed to be acutely needed for schools who are struggling to pay down debt and budgeting for direct revenue. That's correct. All right, so here's some of the numbers. We talked about Illinois being the greatest debt service is Illinois. And they spent $20 million last year just on debt service. And that's 11.8% of their budget. And, now they redid their version, what they call Assembly Hall. It's now called the State Farm Arena. State Farm Center, whatever it is. It's Center Arena, doesn't matter. Yeah. Right? So they redid it. And look, the building was built in 1962. The building is 63 years old. All right? So they kept the structure, but they redid the inside. Well, that costs money to do it. They've done some work to the stadium. Right? They've done some work to the stadium and the practice facilities. Ohio State laid out $33.7 million. Okay? Right? I mean, they lost $37 million. 11.5% of their budget, and a lot of it went to debt service. At most schools, the decision on the capital plan fell to the university presidents and athletic directors. And again, this goes right to my point. Neither USC nor Michigan currently has a president, and both have powerful boards that oversee the school operations. Michigan, the Board of Regents there is 8 individuals, and it's publicly elected, which members say requires significant fiduciary responsibility and public accountability. They believe that they believe differs from presidents and athletic directors who are often on the job for just a short period of time. UC Investments, by the way, is not giving up on the plan. Its statement is that it will continue to work with Tony Petitti in the league to allow all Big Ten members to evaluate the benefits of our potential investment in Big Ten enterprises. Now, look, one of the key with Big Ten enterprises is this. If they are going to go in, and Dan Wetzel and Pete Thamel wrote this, by the way. Credit to Dan Wetzel and Pete Thamel for what they wrote. Big Ten Enterprises has to turn a profit.
Absolutely.
It cannot be a money-losing proposition. It has to turn a profit. Now, they don't like the idea of, we'll take the money, but we're going to give up 10% of Big Ten Enterprises to them. That's the sponsorships and also the media rights. But the idea of the sponsorships and the media rights is it's supposed to then help with the $20.5 million payout if they feel it's done right. Okay. It's not private equity because UC Investments is a part of the California State Pension Fund. Did you see how much money's in that fund? $200 billion. $200 billion. This is cab fare for these people.
Good Lord.
It's unbelievable how much money they have in this thing. I mean, just stunning how much money they have in it. If I'm part of the California State Education group, I'm looking at this going, well, what do you mean we got $200 billion? I pay it every month. What? So I always think that when you do something like this, you always ask, what are the unintended consequences? If you do your due diligence, you figure out what the unintended consequences happen to be. It doesn't mean you're going to find all of them. How many times have we seen where something's come up and like, geez, I never thought about that in a million years? I mean, and somebody will say, well, how come they didn't? Because they probably sat down and they didn't think of it. Because something crazy happens. But if you're doing your job right, you can at least see on a checklist what are the unintended consequences and probably nail most of them.
I agree.
That way, when you're done, you have the list of what are the unintended consequences. Is it still a good deal? Okay. Michigan wants to play a power play here because they're mad at the Big Ten and they're mad at Tony Petitti because of how they felt Michigan was treated during the national championship season. And USC, I don't know why. I don't know why. I know the day before Michigan played USC, it was in October, right? Tony Petitti did make a presentation to the USC Board of Trustees. And, and whatever the presentation happened to be, evidently it didn't sway them. I don't know if it swayed some members, but not enough. And I mean, look, USC is a private institution.
Yes.
For all we know, they're objecting to UCLA getting $100 million. What are you bailing them out for? In other words, that could be as simple as that. It could be like, well, because UCLA is in debt up to its eyeballs in the athletic department. They probably would, like the bottom tier is 100 to 110. I would guess UCLA would be one of those that gets the 110, okay? Which would be exactly what they need to get themselves back on track financially. And USC may not want them to have it. I mean, it could be as simple as that.
The other part of it also, I think, goes back to the point you made, and back to the point in that statement is both of them have inner rooms. Do you want that person to make the decision that is around that impacts your school for this length? I think that's the other part of it that is the question.
I mean, Acker is correct in that, and you agreed with it.
Yeah.
We don't even know what it's going to look like.
No, it's going to be a lot different. There's no doubt.
But my counter is this, and see, this super conference thing, I think I'm sorry.
It's a ways away if it happens.
It's not. Look, it doesn't make sense for it to happen. You
No.
want to know why it doesn't make sense?
Because
look,
you're doing fine on your own.
Right? You're doing fine on your own, and not only that, look at the big leagues that you've got right now.
Sure.
Okay, in the big leagues that you have right now, Oklahoma just walked in and beat Alabama.
Mm-hmm. 2 years in a row now.
Right? And last year when Oklahoma beat them, it knocked Alabama out of the playoff. That was the last straw for them in the playoff. Well, until they expanded, Alabama was not playing Oklahoma. Oh, okay. Texas got knocked out of the playoff. Well, instead of playing, with all due respect, Iowa State or Kansas State, they played at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course they picked up their third loss. When you have, when Oklahoma and Texas went into the SEC, it was the summer of 21. It was like June 30th of 21. It comes out. The Houston Chronicle gets all the credit because they broke the story. And I remember my exact words on the show. I said, this really takes them to a super conference level. I said, but always remember that when you're playing 8 conference games on a given Saturday, you have 8 winners. And let's not forget, there are also 8 teams that don't win. They lose. And when you have a super conference like that, just like the Big Ten has, right? Guess what? Like Oregon goes to Iowa and survives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Iowa goes to USC. USC survives.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, when you've got, Indiana comes to Penn State. We all know what's happened in Penn State season. Indiana comes to Penn State, survives. Texas A&M survives. Not everybody survives.
Right.
When you have a depth of quality in your conference, not everybody survives. I mean, we talked about Iowa. Iowa had to rally and survived with Penn State at home.
Yeah, Penn State had a double-digit lead in that game.
Okay? But I'm saying when you have a depth of quality in your conference, that's why the super conference thing, this will be great. For what?
Yeah, I agree.
Now, do I have any problem with the Power Four breaking away? That's worthy of debate.
I think so, too.
That then becomes the super conference idea, but you don't have everybody 1 through 64. You're still going to have conferences. Right? So Acker, when he says we don't know what it's going to look like in 5 or 6 years, right? We don't know what it's going to look like in 5 or 6 years for the Mountain West, the Big 12, the ACC, Conference USA, the Sun Belt. We don't know. When all those conferences, we don't know. Okay? We don't know. But Big Ten and the SEC, the 16 schools in the SEC that are sitting there today are going to be sitting there 5 or 6 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. The current 18 schools in the Big Ten are going to be sitting there 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. I'd be shocked if anybody left.
No, I'd be very, very shocked.
Because part of this deal is also the uneven distribution of media money. Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan would get 5.5%. USC and Oregon would get 5%. Everybody else gets 4.9%. That's going to be the formula, it looks like, moving forward.
Absolutely.
And it's something that I don't know. I sit back and I look at it and go, I don't mind if somebody questions this and they want to say, hey, we need to we need more due diligence. Look, it's a big decision. So I'm okay with that. But I mean, I'm listening to this guy. Like, he'll make sense on 2 points and make no sense on 5. He makes no sense at 5 points, makes good sense on 2. Like, I don't. I think they just want to stick it to the Big Ten. Now, why USC wants to do it, that's how I'm wondering about the UCLA part of it. Okay? But when I look at what Michigan's doing here, look, they don't want Tony Petitti to have a win because they're mad at him, and they don't want the Big Ten to have a win because they're mad at them. Okay, I got it. How dare you do what you do? Over here in the back, you cheated. Okay, sorry. Let's see now. Let's see. You run the ball, you play great defense, and you really need to play from the lead because you're not a come-from-behind team. If we could get the lead in the first quarter, we're in good shape. When does sign stealing come into play? Really only the first quarter. Because as the game goes, you can see the other signs.
Absolutely.
Okay? Okay. Sorry, I apologize for having some understanding of the game. I don't do first take. Oh, we need 49 good San Francisco seconds.
I don't know how they're 7-4. I can tell you that. It's great that Brock Purdy's back, but yeah, that no doubt about it. I think they have a favorable schedule, but I will say if they did not have Christian McCaffrey, who has been incredible as usual, and they did not have George Kittle back, I'm not sure they would stop a parked car with that defense.
Wow.
It is, yeah, they are struggling. Well, and then look, injuries are killing them. There's no question about it. You have your emotional leader on defense.
And Monday night, they've got the Carolina Panthers.
The Panthers are playing well right now. I know they but, yeah, there's 7-4. There's teams that are out of the playoffs right now that I think are clearly better. The Lions being one. You put the Lions even in San Francisco in January, they're beating them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no doubt. But, yeah, I'll take it. 7-4 right now, in position for a playoff spot. Right now, the last playoff seed. I'll take it.
Steelers and Bears, by the way. The Bears are a 3-point favorite.
Yeah, Bears are a sneaky 7-3. I don't know how they're doing it.
They're playing well.
I think they're playing well.
But the Eagles play in Arlington against the Cowboys.
Yep.
You want to know what the number is? Take a guess.
7?
3.5.
3.5. Ooh, I don't know.
Like, really?
The Eagles' offense
because the Cowboys beat the Raiders?
Part of it, I think, is the Eagles' offense. It's just they've got to have some answers very soon here. I'm not saying fully complement your defense, but they've got to score more points.
No question. And this A.J. Brown thing.
Oh, it's going to divide a locker room at some point. It has to.
But they forced the ball to A.J. Brown how many times the other night?
Yeah.
They got one touchdown out of it.
I never understand the criticism of Dallas Goedert. A great tight end, makes great plays.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Smith's phenomenal. Right? Yeah.
So by going to Brown over and over again, it took Devontae Smith out of the game.
Yeah. A guy that can beat you deep. Absolutely. Yeah. One of the very best.
He's your big play guy.
Absolutely.
Brown isn't a big play guy anymore.
Yeah, he'll make a big play in terms of third down, but no, big play in terms of deep ball, no, not as much. He can, absolutely, but not the way Smith can.
I mean, and that call at the end of the game. The call, if you're going to,
Yeah,
first of all, it's a no-call play.
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
a no-call play. But if you're making a call, it's offensive. He pushed
I
off.
agree.
He pushed off the other.
Yeah, and then look, that I don't think it changes the outcome. I'm not the way the Eagles defense played. I don't think Goff's going 80 yards on him.
They're not.
But yeah, that's I agree. You don't make that call.
No, it's ridiculous. All right. Ooh, winter storms on Thanksgiving. Ooh.
On Thanksgiving Day? Ooh.
According to Newsweek.
Wow.
Let's pretend the last time they got a forecast right. All right. I mean, well, no, Newsweek. Have you seen Newsweek?
No.
Their map only has 47 states. All right, so. Back tomorrow. No, actually, back Thursday. We'll have an interview tomorrow with Greg Pickle.